Hello and welcome. It's Tuesday night, so that's going to be our Esper Genesis game here on the Dire Bear Adventuring Company in association with the Nerd Eternal Network. I'm your GM for the evening, Jason, and with me today, as usual, is Sarah playing Kat, Taylor playing Danru, Eric playing Adrian, lost my train of thought because ran out of people on camera. Patrick playing Hull, Zach playing Francis, and Zach playing Anna. Zach playing Jade temporarily until Anna gets here. Man, I was planning that joke the whole time and I bungled it. So anyway, last week, for any of you that weren't here, either viewers or Patrick, who would like to give a review?
Stuff happened. It was good.
Indeed. We talked to the Governor General of the planet we were on about the whole sentient species on a living that was already living on their colonized world.
Look, is it their fault those people showed up before them?
And we got them to agree to release information regarding the fact that there were already sentient beings here, as well as protocols regarding what will happen once they reach a higher degree of development.
Mm-hmm. Now, they did cut the government enough slack. They let the government release the information. And, not put a lot of spin on it. But enough that it seemed like they were voluntarily giving this information and not that they had a party of adventurers blackmailing them. Because they did
Basically,
have a party of adventurers blackmailing them.
We did not blackmail them at all.
You did.
Blackmailing incites the idea we were trying to get something out of them.
That's
No,
true.
it was, we're releasing this. And they went, wait, please. Let us release it in a way that hurts us less. And we went, if you agree, that's fine. We came up with an agreement.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
They were asking us not to blackmail them, and then we said, okay.
You only threatened them slightly, okay.
And then I
But
told
we
them
gained nothing from it, other than moral superiority.
The best kind of superiority.
I don't know, in some situations I'll take superior firepower.
Most situations, I'll take superior firepower. You can get morals back if you lose. You can't survive getting shot in the face too many times.
And if you win, you can
That's
always
sure
write how the story went, so.
I'll say, unless you're a half-orc undying warlock, and then you can get shot in the face like 4 times and get right back up again.
There's a story to that.
It sounds like it. It does. It does sound like it.
Wait, a story to what?
A half-orc warlock getting shot in the face multiple times.
I'm sorry.
All right. So you had dinner with the governor, or excuse me, the mayor of the closest town. You came up with the agreement. You then followed clues you had gathered from the cave carvings that you had originally showed up on this planet to collect. What was the name of that planet? Was it
I don't
Dennis?
remember if you gave us one.
I don't think you gave it one.
Okay.
I think you said it was just like it was a small colony of small mining colony.
I've got the name Edis written down. Was Edis somebody's name? I gotta start thinking about names.
Might have been it, actually.
Okay. I think Edis was. I think I gave it a name.
Alright, I enjoy the fact the DM goes, I've got to start taking better notes.
Edis
You
was
wrote
the
it.
planet. Cody was the guide. Vagilla Gandrick was the mayor.
Really, because I've got Neri Gage as the mayor. Vidilla Gandrick.
I know Vidilla was the station.
Yeah. So anyway, leaving this world, you began working on the translating the carvings. Most of the carvings are gibberish. The few words they could actually make out tended to be technical astrophysics kind of stuff. Leaving the distinct impression that the carvings were someone trying to copy something they had seen but did not necessarily understand. So so the letters weren't quite right. The numbers being simpler, they were able to get the coordinates, or what they thought were like coordinates in the video that Achille had shown them. They then followed those coordinates to a space anomaly called the shortcut. This anomaly has been known about for hundreds of years, if not longer. Multiple races have studied it. There's a research station permanently stationed, or close to it. And the shortcut takes up a fairly large area. I know I had the number somewhere. Roughly the size of a, quote unquote average solar system.
Yep.
So they arrived at the station, they did some poking around, went on a tour of one research facility, just to get background information on what all's been done. I believe y'all noticed someone was keeping tabs on you?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you began to steal from him?
That was only one of us, and I frown upon that action publicly.
So anyway, stole the man's data pad, brought it back to the ship, started hacking into it, found some slightly incriminating messages. Nothing that would get him in any sort of legal trouble on the station or anything, but it seemed to link him to the group you've been encountering, or at least I think that's how y'all took it. He was sending
Something like that.
He sent a message to someone saying those people they'd been talking about were here. He seemed to be obsessed with figuring out what the shortcut was, to the point that when you went home, or followed him to his home, it was set up almost like some conspiracy nut jobs, office. Except it was all technical information and experiments that had been done.
All stuff that makes sense to work on. It's just weird that it was all here.
Yeah, he does it all.
Especially because he had several centuries of work in there.
Yes, he had work in his that went back far farther back than he should have been here. Which may have just meant that he had previous research.
Maybe.
But and then he showed up with the cops the next day because he had a tracker in his data pad.
Yep.
The police searched the ship. Everybody was voluntarily cooperating, while Adrian sent his well, not his drone. We established
We established hard it was not a drone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call it a familiar, but that's not technically what
It's technically what it is. The
His
power
techno child.
is called bonded familiar.
Okay, so they do still refer to those things as familiars. Okay.
Or I think it's called, actually, it might say bonded companion. Yeah, it says bonded companion, but it's technically just an extension of his own consciousness.
It's like you spawned off a little alternate personality that's now your pet.
He has a mini-me.
But if Mini-Me is a kleptomaniac, wouldn't that make Adrian a kleptomaniac?
What was the thing that he did before you all met him?
That's right. He doesn't steal shinies, he steals information.
So,
I'd like to call a brief timeout. Due to the multiple systems we used to record this, I did not notice Adrian was talking through Zoom and not Discord, so I haven't heard a word he said up until this point.
I've been talking on Discord.
You're
he's
muted on Discord.
No, he's not.
Oh, because I'm hearing him. I've
Yeah.
heard him the entire time.
Did you mute him?
I just joined Zoom's audio and started hearing him.
Huh.
I've got Zoom audio off and I can hear him in
Yeah, the
Discord.
Zoom.
Yeah, I'm.
Weird.
I think I have the most problems that I've heard fine.
That's so strange. Oh well. Continue on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've not been muted in Discord. I mean, I mute myself when I have to clear my throat,
Does
so I don't destroy your all's eardrums.
Does everybody that's watching the Twitch, can you are you hearing all the audio through the Twitch? Check that right quick.
I have the Twitch playing like very low in the background so I can hear you guys through Twitch.
Okay. As long as anybody watching can hear us, and I'm hearing everything, so we should be picking it up for the recording. We should be good then.
Yeah, it's just
You're
must have
good.
been a weird hiccup.
Alright, so where were
Anyway.
we? Oh yes, you were on the station, the police had shown up. Did not find anything because Adrian's companion basically took the data pad off and dropped it in some unsuspecting lady's purse. Someone who was being rude to people around her, or someone that seemed unpleasant. So.
Yeah, he didn't just do it at random. It was someone who was being exceptionally unpleasant to people. That he just decided to give her a very bad day.
You're a little bit rude. Here, go to jail.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, really, I doubt the guy will really press charges against her. He was quote unquote clever enough to notice that it was obviously someone else.
And he immediately assumed it was some sort of drone carrying anything around. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, does anybody remember right where we left off?
We had just undocked to go explore the I want to call it the corridor, but the shortcut. Like we had just gotten clearance to undock. We were like just leaving.
Yeah. There was a slight delay while the police checked everything, but
Yeah.
once that was clear, you're not under suspicion for anything anymore. So.
Yep.
All right. The undocking goes fine. You leave the station. It's a hour or so's flight out to the because you're not really using faster than light. Out to the coordinates. Like I said, this whole area of space is essentially empty, other than the occasional ship passing through, and lots of probes from the research station. Some of them kind of stationed out or placed out in stationary positions. Some of them are kind of constantly moving around. But you're talking about a very large area, so it's not like you're flying through a debris field or anything.
Adrian has taken that time to nap because he needs it.
Oh, that's right. You were up like all night.
Yeah.
Danner has continued to practice his synthesizer in private.
In private, he says, but we're totally hearing dun 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 dun. Sorry.
No, I think it was Take On Me was what he was going to be playing.
Take on me.
So as you're flying out there, as you start to get close, Jim alerts all of you that you're coming up on the coordinates. So guys, what are we expecting to find here exactly?
I don't know. That's at the front of it, isn't it?
Most likely another mystery.
You guys doing okay?
Yeah. Doing just fine. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't see anything on the Twitch stream. That's the reason I was asking.
It
Okay,
it's
this is
shown
weird.
online.
Nope, it's me. Sorry. Bye.
Oh,
Okay.
this brief cameo brought to you by Captain Sack.
Hi, Cap. Bye, Cap. See you on the 8th when we do session 0, Cap.
Our dear commendable leader, who was very concerned about us, but we're safe. Everything's okay.
And then he wandered into the desert. Never to be seen again.
As
I'll
long
let
as
you know
he
how
has
that
a
goes on
horse with no
Sunday.
name.
Because I'll see him Sunday. I'll let you know how that goes.
Oh, is that when y'all are in y'all's session 0?
No, so, I actually play with him at Lucky Dice Cafe
Oh,
on
that's right.
Sundays
That's
through
right.
Adventure League. Yeah. I get to see the man in person.
I used to, but I don't see him no more. All right, let's see here. Oh, yes, coming up in the coordinates, Jim was asking you. You were saying another mystery. All right, we'll call it back up. He goes, yeah. We seem to be stacking those up.
Aren't you glad you signed up?
It's more fun than I've had since the wife passed. Retirement's kind of boring when you're by yourself.
Agent just gives him a look, is like, I'm trying to decipher the meaning of that statement, but he isn't quite sure how to take it.
Dad was sitting there. I enjoyed farming.
Yeah, farming would have been retirement. That would have been just a new career.
That's retirement for me.
No offense to you, man, but that would bore me to tears.
We all have different loves.
Yep.
So do y'all want me to just fly through the area, or you want me to try to come to a dead stop right at the coordinates, or how are we doing this?
How far away do we need to be to scan the coordinates?
Well, we can scan them some from here. He kind of looks over. So far, everything's just showing up as empty space.
Let's try and do it from here for right now.
Kind of just move forward little by little.
All y'all do that.
This is a big ship. I don't know about inching it forward. It's going to take a long time. Even with precise coordinates, you're still talking about a decent little area of space,
Like space inching.
Okay.
Like,
So
like
here's
don't
a
go.
kilometer. Here's a kilometer.
Like, don't go full burn. Just take it slow.
Fly casual.
That does not mean do loop-de-loops, by the way, or barrel rolls.
Or aileron rolls.
And while they're doing that, Adrian is going to send his drone out, like phase it through the ship, and just have it flying in the direction of the coordinates.
Okay.
See what it can see too. He's kind of curious to see if this whatever spatial anomaly affects things that technically aren't in the same phase of existence. He's kind of curious about that.
What was your companion's name?
Yanni.
Yanni. Okay. So Yanni streaks for what speed does Yanni travel at? He travels at like regular people speeds, doesn't he?
No, it's a little bit faster.
Like
It's,
like 40 or so. Okay.
Yeah, he can go 40 normally. If he's not doing anything else, he can go 80. So I think he said that covers like about a single like block of like normal ship travel when we're doing the ship combat thing. I think you said the ship combat thing is like 50 feet.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Approximately. And he can go about 1 to 2 if he goes at full speed.
Okay.
Every round.
Alright, so yeah, you're inching forward. The ship is actually going faster than him at the moment.
Well, the ship's going faster than him. He's just chilling on the hull then.
Okay. As you come up almost right on the coordinates, Jim slows the ship down to a stop. Because you mentioned sending Yanni ahead.
Yeah, and then Yanni's going to go.
So Yanni travels forward for about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And vanishes.
But does he? Because I have direct connection with him.
You can feel your connection slightly,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't seem to... Do you see through his eyes, or do you just give commands?
I can see through his eyes,
Okay.
too.
Everything seems to be black. It's like he was, from his point of view, he's traveling forward, and the stars just turn off.
All right, whoa, hold up. Hold up, Jim. The hell?
What?
What did you break?
Well, I don't think Yanni's broken, but all the stars just went out. There isn't a single bit of light in there.
Alright, which one are you recited 99 million in? God.
Ah, the room gravity black hole.
Okay,
I
Patrick.
feared as such.
I heard you say something.
Oh. Which one of you recited the 9 billion names of God?
Let me crank the user volume up some.
That's an Asimov quote.
See, the fun part is if we were level 5 for this, Adrian could just leave the ship, breathe in space, and fly on his own power in there.
Look, he's Princess
OP.
Leia.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
But you are not
I think-
level 5, so what y'all gonna
Yeah. That's true.
Mope
He's gonna-
about it.
He's gonna try to recall Yanni, like, not have it, like, warp back to him, but, like, fly back to him. And see if the stars come back again once it crosses some form of threshold.
do? Okay, give me an intelligence check for Yanni.
Well, it's an extension of his will. Of
It has its own
Adrian's.
stats, though, doesn't it?
It does have its own stats, but yeah.
Give me an intelligence roll
straight
for Yanni.
intelligence. Okay. I mean, if he can't fly back on his own, then Adrian will just call him back and send him back out again. But this isn't going to go well because he has a -3 to this, but
Oh.
not terrible.
No, not terrible.
I was expecting a lot worse, like a -2 or something.
Basically, he's traveled out. When you tell him to come back, he just turns around and, essentially tries to follow his exact path back.
Yeah.
So he doesn't, wander to a side and, miss the door or whatever. So a minute, you give that command, and a minute or so later, he pops back into existence. There's no flash of light. It's just not there.
Okay. He'll have Yanni stop, turn around, and just move forward until it crosses that threshold, and then stop once it crosses the threshold.
Okay. He moves forward a little bit, and then vanishes.
Okay. The second he does, he's going to tell Yanni to start scanning. Like basically try to, if he can somehow pick anything up. I don't know what you want me to roll for that. What would be like perception or something? Perception, investigation. I don't know.
Investigation. Give me an investigation roll for him.
Okay. So another intelligence roll. So another -3 to this, but I will. Dang. Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah. He got into the good charging station last night, apparently.
He does not detect anything in his immediate vicinity. He's not picking up your ship.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he's not picking up any light.
Yeah.
He is picking up some gravity, I guess, some mass off in the distance.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't have any visual sight of it.
Okay.
But, something is massive enough that it's generating gravity.
Alrighty. Adrian will just go. He's kind of like humming to himself a little bit. It's like, okay, so there's no light. It's pitch black in there, but there's something in this anomaly that is big enough that it's creating its own gravitational field. There's something in there.
Now, you can tell from when Yanni traveled it earlier, it's not like he traveled in and then something kind of started sucking him in or, he had no problems turning around and coming back out.
It's just something that wasn't noticeable until it crossed that threshold.
Right. Yeah, y'all aren't picking up
Okay.
anything like that.
Huh.
Does Yanni have any kind of instruments that would allow him to kind of read how much gravity? Kind of get an idea of how big it is, maybe?
I think it'd be that investigation roll, I guess. Considering that's kind of what he was scanning around for, is to see if there's anything there. But I'll leave that up to our illustrious DM. Because the base form power sprite doesn't technically have its own tools.
Okay. In that case, I want to say he does not have. If he doesn't have his own tools, then yeah, picking up anything more than what I've given you, he's going to be a little beyond him at the moment.
Okay. Okay, so he'll sort of go over to Jim and say, okay, this is where the sprite is. This is where he crossed the threshold and then suddenly there's nothing there. Could you maybe just like inch us forward slowly until you just cross that point?
Sure.
And he'll give him the exact like astronomical coordinates because that's where Yanni is at.
He starts moving the ship forward. Now, all y'all are good with this, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And if we die, we die.
It didn't crush the drone, so presumably it won't crush us.
It turns out it's just big enough for the drone, so it shears the ship.
That's the part. That's the part I'm curious. The part that Adrian's curious about is like any ship traveling through here. Suddenly, just like goes over to the other side, but Yanni gets in there. There's just blackness and a gravitational anomaly of some kind. So curiosity.
Can Yanni detect air?
Yes, if there was an atmosphere around
yeah.
him,
I mean,
he has basic senses.
Yeah, and Adrian can sense things through Yanni. Because they technically work as a single unit that operates in two different bodies, more or less. If that makes sense.
Somebody's cooking waffles. How do you know that Yanni's in the kitchen?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That's not hard to understand.
I'm picturing Adrian's brain as the main computer and Yanni's like a workstation.
You're not wrong.
A somewhat limited workstation. He can't access everything.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
No, he's like the ones at work. Your brain's the main computer, and he's like the spa little ordering guns.
Oh God.
Much more limited than the actual computers, but capable of specific tasks.
Mm-hmm.
So you travel forward, and as you're hitting that spot, the stars turn off.
All right.
And then Yanni.
Well, now you all see what Yanni saw. Yanni's just sort of like plastered onto on the window, like, "Get me out of here!"
I was just about to describe him as like a bug on a windshield.
Yeah, he'll phase through the windshield and just sort of like start shivering on Adrian's head.
What was that, Patrick?
You beat me to it. Good old windshield. Beat me to it.
Yeah.
Shh, get it off. Windshield wiper.
Please don't. The wipers phase through the drone.
Why are there windshield wipers on a spaceship? It goes in the atmosphere sometimes.
Space whales. You never know what you run into.
Yeah, fair enough. Space whales are a trope that I am sure.
I think you'd know if you ran into a space whale.
But would you though?
Well, if you're moving at light speeds though, you might be through it before you even realized.
Yeah. Sorry, I got us distracted.
Yeah, it's easy to do. All right. So, yes, you've gone through. Yanni has phased back in. Y'all are now in this darkness. Jim's looking through the windshield. That's kind of spooky.
Yeah, Adrian's gonna pull up his data pad and like he's gonna search for any reference to just complete utter blackness in any of these tests that this station has had through like the hundreds of years of tests that he's picked up from that one dude's data pad.
So you sit there for a few minutes working on it?
I'll say I know it might take him a while. It gives other people stuff to do things because I kind of dominated this last 40 minutes almost.
All right, so what are the rest of y'all want to do?
Is there anything to? There's nothing for me to attack or negotiate with. I'm kind of just here.
Yeah, Francis and Jade are both useless in this situation.
This is time for the science boys to science.
Cat
Yeah.
would like to pickpocket the darkest.
It has a $1.50.
Damn.
All right. So in this situation, what science would I need to roll? Science this, science this hard.
All
Can I
right.
check the computers to see what kind of readings we're getting?
Yeah, you can use the computers because the ship's got better sensory equipment than Yanni does. So yeah, give me a roll on that. And I think we were using Arcana on the sheet for your.
I just use the dice roller.
Oh, okay. That works.
That's what I've been using for computer use. No, actually, Arcana for me has been astrophysics. I've been using history.
Yeah, it just has to be one of the intelligence ones.
Well, I still roll an ass.
There's no light here. There's no heat here. You are detecting just a little bit of gravity. You know, like Yanni detected.
Okay, there is no light, there is no heat. But we are detecting. Okay.
They're just saying. But yeah, that's all you get right now because you rolled. Well, you rolled ass, so it happens.
I'll say if Adrian hears that, it's like, that's something I've been curious about. If this is an area where ships have been shooting through at much faster speeds than normal, have they been slingshotting whatever is or whatever this gravitational anomaly or object is without even realizing?
Well, now keep in mind the coordinates that you are at is a very small area within, the entire space of the shortcut.
Well, yeah, but he's now curious about the gravity thing. Right now, the coordinates are just like out of
How
his
have
head
they
right now.
avoided hitting these particular coordinates over how many hundreds of years?
Because ships,
That's what Adrian's looking for too.
because ships are a few dozen meters wide, perhaps like a couple of 100 meters wide, and the
They've been
shortcut is
searching.
like 300. Was it 300 billion and some odd kilometers wide?
Yeah, but they've been studying this whole anomaly area for quite a bit, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The coordinates were very precise. Think of it as you have something the area of the moon. And you take, like, a Victorian era woman's, hat pin and you poke a hole in it. The coordinates told you where that hole was.
That is exceptionally precise.
I think that's a lot more precise than I was thinking it was.
That is like stupidly precise.
Yeah, that's.
I'm glad I rolled high enough to figure that out. Because hot damn.
How far are we into this anomaly? Do we just kind of poke our heads in and
You're moving slowly enough that you're trying to just poke your head in. The trick is, once you're in here, there's no way to gauge. There's nothing to gauge distance traveled from.
You can sense where your little drone is. You're familiar, correct?
What? Yes.
I'd recommend we leave him outside the hole so we'd have a point of reference if something goes horribly wrong.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. He'll tell Yanni to head out.
And Yanni shoots out the back of the ship. He travels, disappears for just a few seconds, and then pops back in.
No, he'll tell him to stay outside of the anomaly. Or outside of the, what's the word I'm looking for here?
these starless?
Shortcut.
The shortcut.
Yeah. He's going to tell him to stay outside of it. And because of what he is invisible to practically everything.
But that means if y'all need to find the door later, he just steps back through and you know where the door is at.
Yeah.
How far away can you sense Yanni, though?
Close to a star system?
Okay, never mind.
I have to take a specific power to be able to see through him that far, and to like be able to talk and interact with things at that distance. But he can sense him up to that distance normally.
So you should be fine. You know, you might lose connection if you got to the very opposite end of this thing, assuming that it's the size of the entire shortcut.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Oh, sorry, I had a message pop up. That turned out not to be for me.
Ah.
All right. So what are y'all doing? Jim is sitting there asking you, all right, guys, do I sit here or do I move forward?
Are we at those coordinates, or were the coordinates where this doorway was?
The coordinates were basically where the doorway is. There's no way to detect coordinates, or
Okay.
you have no frame of reference for moving around here, other than there's some sort of slight gravity ahead of you, and you've got Yanni kind of back behind you.
Makes sense.
I'm going to try the sense roll again, see if it
Okay.
be better or I had that.
Jim moves the ship forward just a little bit.
Onward into the unknown!
Basically.
Oh, better.
You're at least in double digits now, so you are improving. All right. As you move forward, you know, you're flipping through the scans. While the computer had told you it wasn't wasn't detecting any heat, you go ahead and you flip through the infrared anyway. In the infrared, there is something ahead of you, glowing kind of bluish. Something out there is colder than the surrounding space.
Which is concerning, considering space is cold as balls.
It's not absolute zero or anything, though.
Yeah, space is, depending on where you are, is shockingly warm. But yeah.
Because sometimes there's nothing in the way between you and direct heat from a sun or something.
Yeah.
Considering there's no stars, I mean...
So do we want to go to the cold zone?
I mean, it seems to be the only way forward.
It's the only thing
Do we want to scan the cold zone a little bit more thoroughly?
I'd recommend that, yes.
Alright, you begin scanning. And this thing is... it's a few thousand clicks from you. Jim asks you, how close do you want to get?
Are the scans telling us anything else about it?
Now that you've got kind of something to direct it at, give me another roll, Patrick.
Oh boy. I take it without advantage then, correct?
Beg pardon?
Without advantage then?
Go ahead and give me advantage. Go ahead and give me advantage, since you kind of know the direction to look now.
Also, does the imagery from our devices give a general shape?
That came out wrong.
Yes,
Still
yes, I
better.
believe that did. Yes, much better, but yes, you did roll that a little odd.
Okay, I see what I did wrong there. No. Anyway,
We'll take the 14 plus the 4, so that got you an 18.
that was supposed to be with advantage, so it was a...
Oh, that's right.
It would have been the
It
7
would have been
plus
the
4.
17. So a 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've accidentally blew out eardrums. I think I did mute myself when I cleared my throat last time.
But, yeah, you're detecting the mass, and this thing is massive. I've got the little picture here just for a visual, but the scale is all off. This thing is very close to the size of the shortcut.
Inside the shortcut.
Yeah. It is billions of kilometers in diameter, with basically several thousand, kilometers separating the edge of this thing from the edge of whatever it is y'all are in. From like if you measure from the doorway y'all came through to this thing. As you get closer,
We just ran into a Dyson sphere, didn't we? Or something like it.
I'm kind of thinking that.
You can theorize that. You're having a hard time. You can judge how massive it is by the gravity it's generating. You can pick it up as a cold spot. Any sort of active sensors you send out, that actually send a signal out that bounce back, think radar, but something more advanced than that. You're not getting any signal back from it. If you bounce, we'll use radar as an example. If you bounce a radar beam off of it, yeah, it's not bouncing. The radar beam seems to be, just being absorbed by it or passing through it or something. You're not getting a signal back.
So Adrian will kind of lean over his shoulders like, that's odd.
Yeah. Jim's like, He throws a few switches and he turns the ship's front spotlights on. But like I said, you're quite a, on any kind of normal human scale, y'all are still quite a ways away, so the light's not doing anything.
Yeah. But it's still good to have.
Yeah. Gotta hammer out, just how close can we get this thing?
Jim's like, if you want me to keep edging forward,
Edge forward.
it's about 1,000 clicks between us and it right now, so. And he's put up on the view screen, the infrared, so y'all can actually kind of all see it. And yeah, it's just glowing blue is all y'all can see at this distance.
So this is inside a Pokeball.
This is what the inside of a Pokeball looks like. Ah.
No wonder they're willing to come out and fight whenever we call them.
Yeah.
It's like purgatory.
I guess we continue on.
As you move forward, you get within. When you get within a. How close do y'all need to get? You eventually inch up close enough that you can actually visibly see the spotlight start to hit it. It has kind of a shiny crystalline look to it. But you only see it for a few moments, and then it all kind of goes dark again. The spotlights are still on. You can see where the light's coming out, but it's like the light's not coming back to you.
Interesting.
Hey Jim, turn off the lights for a second.
He flips the lights off.
Adrian will wait for like a few minutes. Okay, turn it back on again.
And you get that same effect. It hits. You have a second or two where you can see it, and then it's like it begins absorbing the light.
Huh.
And just I asked Jim, we don't have any probes on this thing, do we?
No, I don't think we ever stocked up on something like that.
Uh,
I mean, not. I mean, we may have some little camera drones that we can use, but they would require an atmosphere because, I mean, we weren't. We were supposed to be investigating an extinct species, and it's supposed to be an archaeological thing, not whatever this crap is.
Technically, if we dig on it, it's archaeology.
Fair.
unless the species is still alive, then it's just theft. Now, however, we have the missile launcher mounted on this thing, correct?
Yes, you have a missile launcher.
I want to take one of the probes, one of the missiles, and I'm going to try to lodge a probe together.
Okay. So basically, I'm assuming you'll remove the explosive from the missile.
Correct.
And basically just mount a camera on the front of it.
Or more or less, something, at least install some type of sensors with cameras. Like I said, more or less, this is a probe held together by duct tape and prayers at this point. So, but yes.
Okay.
So I assume mechanics roll. Since we seem to be able to be here a while, I'll take a 20 on it.
Okay. That's fair enough. So you spend an hour or two tinkering on this.
So taking a 20 on it, with my mechanics, that's 25. So yeah.
Okay. You do a little better than duct tape. You know, you put something on there to amplify the signal. Since, you know, you're still, you know, a little distance away. And the missiles aren't designed for extremely long travel. Now, once you get the missile launched, I mean, it's just going to go. You're not really going to be able to steer this thing once you let it go. But
Yeah, but thankfully, considering how big this thing is, I'm fairly certain one of us can hit it.
until you roll a 1.
Are we sure we want to make our first contact with whatever this is, firing a missile that's been disabled?
Here's something we can actually do in that regards. Can I rig the missile to basically, shortly after it leaves, to automatically cut the transmission off? Basically, like we just launched it out, it stops, and then it drifts down. Or, alternatively, we don't have to fire it out of the missile tube. We can just launch it out the back of the ship.
Well, it's going to move very slowly if you do it that way.
Well, that's
Like,
actually,
this thing is big, but we're still kilometers. We're still a lot of kilometers away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, you definitely get a probe rigged up. I'm trying to remember if these are dumbfire missiles or if there's actually some.
Targeting involved.
We'll say there's some slight targeting involved. So if you wanted to shoot it out and kind of have it, you know, when it gets so close, either skim a surface, we'll let you do that with a computer use roll. But you have to make the roll before you launch.
I'll say one thing Adrian can do is if it does have guidance systems in it, he can jump into that system, considering it would be unattended, and he could control the system with his with his own brain.
That will give you much better control than trying to set it up ahead of time. All right, so y'all get this set up. You know, you launch it forward. Adrian, you put your brain in it. It takes it some time to travel. As it gets closer, the thing's gravity starts pulling on it and it starts speeding up some.
He'll start guiding it to where it's not going on like a direct path at the thing, but sort of like kind of get it to where it'll like kind of orbit. He doesn't want to hit it with the missile.
Yeah,
He just kind of wants to go like near it, sort of.
Let's see. Oh, I need to retcon one mistake I made. When I said it was almost as big as the shortcut, it would actually be quite a bit smaller.
Okay.
think if you built a Dyson sphere, for example, around our solar system. Well, if you wanted the inside surface to be habitable, you would build it out to about Earth's, the size of Earth's orbit, not the entire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be quite a bit smaller on the inside, or than the
Okay.
inside of this thing.
Right.
I only just thought of that. Anyway, so you launch it forward. Like I said, it's definitely feeling the pull of gravity at this point. Nothing it can't handle. These things can be fired in an atmosphere. So
Yeah.
And now the important part, data. Theo's precious data.
as it begins to skim the surface, again the actually, you're right up on the surface. All right, give me a computer use roll for the sensors.
Okay.
Since I'd be helping them, would that be an advantage?
Uh,
Or actually, do you want me to go ahead and roll it? Because I think I might have a higher intelligence.
one of you was intelligence, one of you was wisdom. Which one was which?
He would be intelligence. I'm wisdom based. I have a decent intelligence. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm rolling at a +4. So
I'm rolling at a +5.
We will say the two of you work together. Eric, go ahead and let Adrian make the roll, but you have an advantage because Patrick is helping.
Okay. Hey!
Not bad. All right, you begin bringing back some data. You figure out fairly quickly that, as far as the active sensors go, short bursts are the way to do it. Much like the light, anything that's hitting it for very long, it begins to absorb.
Okay.
Doing it in short bursts, you get a little bit of signal back.
Right.
You figure the same thing was probably happening with the ship sensors, but the weakened signal that was coming back at that distance, your ship couldn't pick up.
Okay.
But with the missile being so much closer, or the probe being so much closer, it is picking up a little bit.
Okay.
The outside surface is some sort of crystalline structure. You can't identify what it is, though. There doesn't seem to be any seams or any discernible features that you see. It's just smooth. It has a slightly bluish, almost, I hate to say sparkles. It's bluish
Sheen.
with little glinty, glints of other lights inside it, or other reflective surfaces inside the thing.
See, if it has a sheen, its name better not be Charlie.
no, its name is actually Carlos Estevez. If you're curious, it's Charlie Sheen's actual name.
You forget the shortcut's very old. It would actually be Martin.
Ah.
One thing you do detect that raises an eyebrow
Mm-hmm.
is as you begin scanning it, within a few minutes of you scanning it, the probe scanning it, something begins scanning the probe.
Okay. How much of this ancient language has Adrian deciphered, decoded, gotten used to, proficiencies, etc.? Because he's been working on this since we found it in that one temple. It's just sort of I've just been sort of treating it as in their downtime. He's just been working on this almost obsessively.
Due to your own work and the tips and hints that the lingual professor that you have, the stuff she told you about, the context of each, the meaning of each word varying sometimes greatly depending on the context it's used in. You're confident you can make yourself understood to anybody that knows this language.
Okay.
As far as like writing it out. Speaking it,
Right.
you have no idea how any of it was pronounced.
Okay. Let's say since he's in the sensors and something is scanning them back, he will plug a little message in that just says hello in that language.
What would it call you?
I'll say if it does it in a written format, then I can understand it perfectly.
Oh yeah, fair point. But it does not come back in written format.
Okay.
There is a telepathic communication.
Uh,
Unauthorized beings. Please state your reason for entry.
We need someone with charisma.
Well, this is something that's speaking directly to Adrian's head, unfortunately.
No, everybody in the ship hears it.
Oh,
No.
okay. Never mind. Adrian just sort of like looks down, is like, it's that classic look of Adrian's like, I did a thing.
Cass just like vaguely confused as to why is there something speaking in her head.
As you all kind of sit there like, it repeats. Unauthorized beings. Please state the reason for entry.
Exploration.
Danner, thanks for a minute. Inquiry. Inquiring status and mission statement.
Exploration not allowed. Mission statement. Oh, is it, what exactly was your question there, Tyler? How did you put it?
Status and mission statement.
Status, fully functioning. Mission statement, preservation.
Preservation of what? If you're authorized to tell us.
Endangered species.
What is the species that is in danger that is being protected?
You have about 3 hours of just these names, of just these names in your head, as it goes down this freakishly extensive list.
Do any of us recognize any of them?
And when it has names, do we also get a mental picture of what these things look like?
Give me. Let's see, would it be intelligence or wisdom? Give me wisdom, because this is more of a focus thing than necessarily how smart you are. Everybody give me wisdom checks.
I'm not even gonna pretend Danner's gonna particularly care.
Oh
Yep.
my.
Danner did not particularly. Danner goes.
Six,
This is
2, 3, 1.
if
we're
you
on a
show
Rolling
me
great, folks. Rolling great.
no
Yeah.
offense. If you showed me 3 hours of a picture book, I wouldn't remember a single picture.
That's the point of the wisdom check. Alright, let's see here. So we got a 15. No, that was the previous sensor roll. So Francis got a 6. Cat got a 2.
Cat's really regretting asking that question.
Sweet Lord, did anybody roll decent?
I got a 16.
Oh, yes, okay. And Jade. Jade did
Technically
well.
19.
Yeah.
Alright. So, all you single-digit guys, yeah, it's a blur. It's such an information dump that, yeah, you're just not picking up on anything. And it goes through them fairly fast, too, so... So, let's see. Zach is running Jade right now. So, Zach,
Yes, sir.
Jade picks out a couple of things that she's pretty certain were human.
Ha!
One specifically, just because it's one of the most well-known, is... Yeah, she's pretty sure she saw a Neanderthal in that list. In fact, considering that it's speaking to you in a way that you can understand, that would even be the name. She would know it was a Neanderthal because they actually would have referred to it as that.
She relays that to the group.
Yeah. She also saw another one that she didn't recognize, but that she was pretty sure was some sort of human.
And what do I pick up?
Alright. You don't pick up the Neanderthal or whatever the other one was, because those names wouldn't mean a whole lot to you. What you pick up on, and it's not the name that means anything to you. Well, what you see, or the one you notice is, well, you notice a couple of them. One, the four-armed species that you had met on the previous planet. There is something that you're certain is some kind of variation of it. The coloration's a little different. Some of the proportions are a little different, but not drastically.
It's like their pre-altered state.
What was that now?
Their pre-altered state?
No, not the altered species. Oh, that's right. This would be the species that you weren't here for.
Ah.
That's right.
Oh, wait. I was here, the four-armed species. They were the guys we ran into a cave, the native species.
Oh, yeah.
There,
you were there for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from talking, like last session, when they were talking to the mayor and stuff, yeah, they knew that species was living on another continent. You had another species, kind of in that same family, on the continent that was colonized, but they had died out after the previous ice age. You know, way before anybody colony-wise showed up. But they were thought to be the more advanced species. It was just the environmental pressures went weird, and, you know, they had a bit of bad luck.
Did we ever get a name for the species on the first planet, CDL 113?
You would have had the name out of the information that you pulled, because you have their genetic profile, all that kind of stuff.
Would that be something we would be able to transmit and query?
You can certainly try to, once it's done fulfilling the previous query.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to that, Patrick, you pick up on one that there's one species that reminds you of Francis a lot.
Huh.
But it is smaller, not as bulkily built. You know, like a... Zach, off the top of your head, do you remember how tall Francis is?
Like a hair under 7 feet, I think.
Okay. This thing is more like 5 feet. And like I said, built kind of slender.
I was about to say, if you say it's kobolds, so help.
I was not thinking along those lines. Though in hindsight, maybe I should have. But facially, they're very similar. You know, it's not just that this is a smaller lizard race. You know, it looks a lot like Francis's species. When it finally finishes listing all, you know, these 3 hours basically of endangered species, it ends it with basically and numerous other flora and fauna. While a few of them might be hard to tell, you realize the vast majority of this list looked like they were probably intelligent species. Most of them were bipedal, or at least had, you know,
appendages capable of making tools.
correct.
Interesting.
Now, what was the question you were going to ask it, Kat?
She was going to see if there was a way to transmit just like a brief snippet of the genetic data that they found on CDL 113 and be like, do you have any race that would be derivative or the original of?
Negative. That species was no longer endangered when mission was initiated.
How long ago was mission initiated?
It gives you... It doesn't go... It was this long ago. It gives you a date. In numbers that you specifically don't really know.
She would pass that information on.
When
to
it
the
answers
group.
one of your
Well,
questions, all of you hear it.
okay.
Adrian and Hole, you recognize the date as being... It's in the same format as what you pulled off of the computer hard drives, basically, on CDL 113.
Okay.
So the CDL 113 and this started at the same time.
No, the dating is done in that same format. This
Okay.
would have been a century or two later.
Who made you?
Oh no.
What?
Donor would like to tell everyone, please make sure all questions are asked very specifically for short answers.
Yeah, Cat now owes everyone like
This
so
is
many
something
rounds.
that's planet-sized. The amount of people that probably worked on it is probably a long list.
Clarification. What race?
The Ganialo.
Come again?
The Ganialo.
Is that anything that Adrian recognizes?
No.
I'd ask you to give an example of Daniela.
Bob the Ganialo? No, let's
Display
see.
picture of standard Aganialo. Male and female.
Male, female, and or...
It only shows you one image. And all it is this hugely bright light. But in a... not humanoid form, but it kind of... It's rounded off at the top.
Bipedal.
It's almost like the outline of a person if you draped like a sheet across them. But it's
That's
giving off
not
an extremely
creepy at
bright
all.
light with a slight. Every now and then there'll be these slight prism effects running through it. You know, it's not just like white light or just one type of light. You know, the color kind of shifts.
Query: is there any race in your data banks? And he will like sort of list off this race of like light beings that have been taking over people and like rainbow blood and everything.
The
Like
Primoran.
he'll okay.
It tells you the Primoran.
The Primor.
Let's see, how would he put it? A restricted race. Not allowed in the sanctuary.
Clarify reason for restriction.
It merely repeats that they are restricted.
Does make me wonder if they've been here, or if they've been around long enough. Are they trying to find this place?
We're trying to find a way to get back into it.
Have the Primoran ever reached the sanctuary before?
Negative.
Do the Primori know the location of this sanctuary?
Information unknown.
Were the Primorum ever allowed in the sanctuary prior to being banned from?
Primoran restricted as of initiation of mission.
Joyful.
Oh, we have a name for whatever race has been doing this. It's more than what we had yesterday.
Is there any way for it to download information to us about the Primorum?
Point.
Negative.
No.
What was that species, the one that actually built it again?
The Ganialo.
What has
I was going to actually say, should you clarify or give any additional information on the Ganialo?
Creators of the sanctuary. Non-physical beings.
And I'm back. Sorry, power flickered.
Hey.
welcome back.
All right, what was the last thing you remember before your power?
Hull was asking what species specifically made the talking blue planet orb.
Okay, that was a race called the Ganialo.
Mhm.
They also asked if they were familiar, and they showed a picture of them. They seemed to be kind of slightly humanoid silhouettes made of light. They asked if it knew what the little rainbow spectrum guys y'all been running into were. It referred to them as Primoran, and that they were a restricted race, not allowed in the sanctuary.
Ha.
Is there anything else you would like to ask this orb endosphere?
Yes.
You didn't. He kind of chimed in. You didn't actually finish clarifying what the Ganialo were.
Oh, right. It just said creators, non-physical beings. That was all I told you.
Known locations of Aganialo or Primorium outside of the sanctuary.
Unknown.
Average lifespan of, now I can't pronounce it even though I just said it a second ago, Aganialo or Primorium.
Incalculable.
Well, because they're probably both energy beings.
Can Aganialo or Primorium inhabit biological beings?
Primoran may occupy how would it put it? Recently
Vacated?
Primoran can occupy biological organisms when biological functions have ceased.
Oh, beautiful.
So, fighting. Dead
So
bodies.
we've been fighting body jackers.
Basically space zombies.
Space
Ah.
zombies. Yeah, basically space zombies. Okay. When we join a game thinking it's like a space opera and it's actually space zombie apocalypse.
Recommended tactics for dealing with Primorium.
Leave.
Please restate the question. Or inquiry.
Additional information on Primorium.
Restricted race. Non-physical beings.
Known weaknesses of Primorium.
Information not available.
Why are they a restricted race?
Restricted by creators.
Why did the creators restrict them?
Information unknown.
Also, I would like to say while this is happening, Adrian is like making a copy of this on a data that he can download into his head later and then remove all evidence of it from the data pad, so he has the only copy of this information.
Okay, you're basically mentally transcribing it using your Esper abilities.
Yeah, basically.
Patrick, give me a perception check.
And my perception should be. No.
Man, making a habit of that. Stop it. All right. Somewhere around the time that y'all started talking to it about the Primorans, you notice that the roustabout is being scanned. Where up to that point it was not.
Permission to return in the future with further inquiry.
Beings are unauthorized. Do you seek sanctuary?
Would said beings be allowed to leave sanctuary?
Not without Creator's permission.
May we speak to one of the creators?
Inquiry will be made.
How long until response of inquiry?
Unknown. About the time
Please.
it hits the W in known, 3 bright lights appear in your bridge.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What a free minibon.
They speak in unison. Their voices are kind of echoey. You're hearing them in your head. One goes greetings, another goes salutations. The
other one goes, hey.
Third one goes, what's that?
the other go. What would the other go?
I stumped the DM.
Hola.
Hey, girl.
No, something like that.
Just finger guns.
Yeah.
Though all of you are having to kind of shield your eyes from them. In addition to light, there's a lot of heat coming off of them. Not dangerous levels of heat, but you know.
I put on sunglasses.
Cat's fine. She's got the mask on.
Yeah, just opaque.
Just like a little pinpoint.
Yeah.
Ooh, I put on my welder's helmet.
The third one basically goes, new mortals.
Well,
Cat kind of just gives a bit of a, like, bow.
They start moving around, kind of circling around you. It's like they're just wandering around, kind of. You almost get the impression that they're wandering around looking at you, but yeah, they don't have faces or anything.
Adrian's
You can feel
trying to get
their
a read
invisible
on them,
eyes.
too.
And I wander around them while looking at them too.
Again, speaking in unison, one of them is looking at Danru. Ooh, Kish. Another one looks at Adrian. Human modified.
Classified as Promethean.
Noted. Another, let's see. The other one would probably look at, well, like I said, they pass around all of you. Looks at Francis and identifies him as... It's something with an M, isn't it?
Ice cream sandwich.
Malachi.
Malachi, thank you.
I think that's what it was anyway.
And then they begin wandering around your ship.
Curious little guys, aren't they?
You know, one of them goes through the door, the other two go through the wall.
Okay, they're like Yanni.
A little more terrifying when they're larger.
Oh, yeah. Adrian will actually get up and he'll follow one of them.
Cat is gonna stay where she was when they entered the ship, just because she figures they'll probably come back.
I continue to follow them just because, unfortunately, my science is tingling.
Yeah, Adrian's kind of the same way. He'll sort of approach one as he's wandering by. He's like, excuse me, if you have time.
Time. Irrelevant concept.
To you, yes. To mortals like us, very relevant.
Poor mayflies.
Yeah. Only we could all be immortal like you.
It stops. No.
It was a joke. I apologize.
No. Do not make the mistake that we made, and then it continues forward.
Mistake?
Yeah, living forever sucks. You run out of shit to do.
It's really boring. You build
Banner
giant
shouts from a
spears.
distance.
You can only binge watch Friends so many times.
Yeah. He'll just kind of follow him some more. It's like,
But think of how good your synthesizer would be.
All right, Patrick, you were following one. What do you do with yours?
I basically give like physics questions. How does the sanctuary function? I also start asking questions about their nature, because I've encountered energy beings before. Let's leave it at that. And I'd be curious about him, or because I noticed you speak in unison. Is there a form of connection between all three of you?
All Ganialo are connected. All share of their wisdom and their foolishness. And it is poking around in your lab, or in your little workstation.
That's Adrian's.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to move anything when it touches it. It just sort of passes over everything.
Change the map, or...
Yeah, it's not real important where they're at.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the medical lab. That's the doctor's office, and then one next to that, that's kind of my lab.
Okay,
area.
then yeah, it would be in the medical thing then. Let's see. There were 3 of them that wandered off. Did somebody follow the third one?
I guess I'll follow the third one.
Ask about the whole world.
Eventually, Cat will go off and try and find one. Probably not hard considering they're giant beacons of light.
Yeah.
As you're leaving the cockpit, leaving that area, walking past the prison cell slash Jim's room. Because if I recall right,
It's mostly just Jim's room.
Yeah. There's
so
there's
basically
nothing
the laundry, Jim's room, and the common sensory areas right behind the cockpit.
I think we just kind of decided it's not going to be a prison. It's just
We don't take prisoners.
It's the holding cell. Y'all just decided
Yeah.
Jim could use that as his room. And his response was basically, my own toilet. Woo! And you all know not to walk into his room unannounced because of that. Let's see. I'm trying to remember where the workstations are. Alright, that's the defense system. There's the engine access. Maybe it was the comms and sensors area that Adrian was using.
Adrian's
there's
kind of
never mind. I see
yeah.
medical and workshop. I see them now.
yeah. But Adrian's official area is basically the workshop.
Yeah. So yeah, you walk
kind of
past.
bounce between workshop and sensors.
You get
as
back into
needed.
the Cat gets back into the kind of center part of the ship where the medical bay and the workshop are, and you see light pouring out of the doors of both the medical bay and the workshop. You hear Hull talking from inside medical.
That's Adrian's probably in the workshop. With the other one.
He's gonna go look for the third one. She figures the science boys are probably pelting these people with questions.
The third one seems to be wandering around in the... you eventually find him in the engine access area. Towards the back of the ship.
She'll ask them, we've been recently pursued and encountered Primordium. What do you recommend we do?
When you mention the Primoran, it stops what it's doing. And suddenly all 3 of them are in the room with you.
Ah, fuck.
Go.
Hull
Go.
and Adrian, the ones you were talking to, suddenly just vanish.
But I'm
Okay.
sure they're easy to find.
Oh yeah, without any. Well, the engine access though is at the back of the ship, so the light isn't actually visible from where y'all would be. It's not a huge ship. It's not going to take you very long.
Yeah.
So you asked your question. Kat asked her question. They all appear in front of her. You feel like fingers are raking through your mind.
That sounds pleasant.
That sounds more painful than it is. Imagine you're sitting there and somebody's running their fingers through your hair. It's kind of like that, but you're pretty sure they're fiddling through your mind.
Right. No touchy.
Bad touch.
She just kind of stands there like, if I move, these three giant galactic beings of infinite power might kill me.
Premorans. One says Premorans. The other says the unruly. The third one says fools.
We've been researching something they seem to have a particular interest in, and they keep seeking to either stop us or
Suddenly,
gain the information.
all the information you have on this species you've been researching comes to your forethought. You're pretty sure you're not thinking about him in this level of detail. But it's like somebody's thinking about them in this level of detail for you.
Okay.
Imagine it like your life flashing before your eyes. It's not something you're doing consciously, but it's just the information is
Yeah.
just kind of there.
She's quietly having a freak out.
One of them goes, the Ikjati. Another one goes, mourn the Ikjati.
The Ajati.
And you get a mental image of that race that you've seen, that you saw some of the video footage y'all got from CDL 113. You know, the one that was doing the genetic muckering.
What happened to the Ajati?
Devastation. Extinction. Holocaust.
Because of the Primorum?
One goes because of the Primorum. The other goes because of us. And the third one goes because of conflict.
I'm starting to suspect that the guys we're dealing with are actually the same species, just a different faction.
Or they used to be the same,
And they split off.
and they kind of, yeah. They at some point kind of separated.
As they're going through, well, Cat's experience this, I can't ask questions.
You two that are anybody that's looking for where they've gotten to, give me a search is still a thing, right? Or is it just
that would be
perception?
I think
Considering it's three giant glowing beings of light, I mean,
there's investigation.
Okay, roll me investigations right quick.
Hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and call on the comms. Hey, where'd they go?
if Kat's still able to, she'd just be like, use her comm in her helm and be like, they're with me in engineering.
Okay, y'all all hear that over the comm. They're in engineering, so
Haha, tool use.
we are clever monkeys.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you get
They just-
so any of you that want to can get back to engineering at the engine access. It's a little crowded in there, but if you're willing to stand inside one of the Ganialo, it's not really a problem because they don't take up physical space exactly.
Hmm.
It would be
Like
awfully
something
toasty
like
though.
that.
Everyone just get really close, group hugs.
So yeah, you climb up the access to the engine. Let's see.
Let's see. Agent's gonna he's gonna come in and Anglican. Okay. gonna peek and is like, everything alright in here? The hell did you ask them?
She will wait for them to give an answer. She's not gonna go answering for him. Frankly, she's like scared shitless, right? Does not handle giant glowing beings well. Life did not prepare her for that.
All right, what was the last something you asked him?
She had asked him about why the Ajay should be mourned.
That's right. That's right. And they went destruction, extinction, Holocaust. I think you.
Yeah,
I think you had also
And then
asked.
she had asked if the Primorium had been responsible for it.
And you got, a variety of answers up to that one.
She'd be like, you basically know what I know about them now, correct? You've been all up in here.
We know what you know. Your knowledge is
What
ours.
do you suggest we do?
What was that, Patrick?
I was about to ask, is there a link between you and the Comorian?
Okay, to answer Kat's question, when she asked what they should do, run, hide, avoid.
We've tried that. They pursue.
As one, they say our condolences. And then what were you asking? What was Hole asking, Patrick?
I asked, connection between you and the Comorian. As in this case, their species.
Connections. One of them goes no. Another goes foulness. And the third, what would the third say? The third says they differ from us.
How so? Addressing the third.
One goes, we are outside of this world. The second goes, they are inside of this world. The third goes, they are seekers of pleasure.
That would explain things.
They lost their physical bodies like they did. They still want physical sensations. And I actually say that out loud in question.
All right, you said what exactly was it you said, Patrick? You broke up a little bit at the end.
Yeah. They no longer have physical form, but still seek physical sensation.
One goes yes. Another goes they seek what they can no longer have. The third goes they're hedonists.
What drew them into conflict with the Ekajati?
The Ganialo are the ones that we're talking about being in conflict
Ah.
with the Primoran.
Let's say before we do this, Agent's going to suggest they all move to a more open area,
Probably the
So,
cargo bay.
so we're not all crammed into the engine.
If you all move out, they follow.
Okay.
Probably just move to the cargo bay then, since it's a big enough area to disperse heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it had gotten fairly sweltering in the engine room.
It's like a sauna in there.
Hmm. That's it.
They make an inquiry. Why? Why do you study the Ijati?
Curiosity.
And the next one goes poor Ijati. Third one goes lamentations for the Ijati.
Originally, we didn't. The Primorans attacked someone who was carrying an artifact of the Ajati for our current benefactor. We consider them a ancient race that we seek to understand. And what Adrian will do actually is he'll pull up a data pad. He doesn't know if they can interact with it, but he'll pull up like everything that he's found on them, like all of his translations on their language and the things that they found, and he'll scroll through it for him until he goes. An inquiry for ourselves, though. We found something on another planet. I'm not sure if it means anything to you, but he'll pull up an image of the cave etching that has the exact coordinates of the doorway.
As you're pulling up the information on the pad and you start talking to them, they ignore the pad and you feel this sensation of something running through your mind.
Point of reference, this should be interesting, because his brain is practically a computer. So I'm not sure how well that's going to mesh.
All that information you're pulling up, you start thinking about.
Oh, that's handy. Okay.
And
he puts the tablet away.
Kind of in detail.
And he's keeping up with them, with the just way his brain works.
Yeah, it's really like they're just downloading the information out of your head, essentially.
Yeah.
They're not altering your memories. They're not taking the information away from you. It's just they're looking at it from your head as opposed to from your tablet.
That's fair. And then once he realizes they're doing that, he'll start thinking everything.
Okay.
And then he will pull up in his head the image. Technically, it's kind of secondhand from him looking through his drone, which is technically also him.
Mm-hmm.
But that image of the coordinates etched into the cave wall.
One of them is right up on you. The other one is like he's gone back to kind of examine the rest of your party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say one of them was looking at Yanni, but Yanni is not in the ship. Never mind. None of them have left the room. They're not wandering apart yet, though.
Mm-hmm.
You get, rather than trying to explain it to you, you just get kind of an info dump into your head. You see these automated ships landing on Edis. On Edis. And gathering up some of these people. Some of that extinct species of four-armed folk. They were clearly very primitive, but they had some stone carving. They were more advanced in the species than the currently living species. You can tell that at a glance. And you get images of them speaking to these people. The coordinates and a lot of little bit of coherent writing that you got out of the carvings. You see where they, a lot of that stuff was shown to the locals or shown to the people. They did not gather everybody. Some stayed behind.
Mm.
It was a several years process from what you gather. Some of the people refused to leave, and then some went on the ships willingly.
So it's something that they had left behind.
Right, or something the locals had seen, and presumably, worked into their folklore or their mythos or something.
Huh.
The version you saw was probably a copy of a copy. It's like the species was trying to remember this information.
Okay.
But it would be like you handing someone that doesn't read English an English book to transcribe, and then a generation or two later, somebody else takes that transcription and transcribes it themselves, still not being able to read the language. Which is why the version you had was so jumbled.
I'm just imagining that scene from Star Trek Into Darkness where like the Enterprise lifts off and those people like draw the Enterprise in the dirt and start worshiping it, kind of a thing.
That's not a real bad description.
Okay.
Though they don't give you any information on those people once they left the planet.
Right.
They saved a sizable population.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of genetic diversity, and from several different areas.
Right.
Let me see. Is there anything else they wanted to tell you, or there was anything else y'all would like to ask them?
May we return to seek your knowledge or wisdom in the future?
No.
There's a very loud ding from somewhere.
Yeah. Work deciding they need to talk to me and I'm not answering.
Let's see. Would they let you return?
Or would you give us a way to communicate with you in the future?
Let's see. One goes, you may return. Another goes, but only you. Still, everybody in the ship is hearing this, so. The third one goes, do not share what you have found here.
When you say what we have found, do you mean your location or the information that you have imparted to us?
The entryway. It must be
Understood.
One goes, it must be kept secret. The other one goes, it must be kept safe.
Understood.
Hearing that, Adrian just kind of go, one moment. And he's going to ping a query to Yanni if there's anything that is kind of like at the area that he's at right now.
Yanni doesn't see nothing.
No ships or anything? No light?
Well, he's just outside the door. So, he sees the stars and all, but nothing seems weird. Nobody's passing close by.
Okay. I'm gonna have him sort of like passively, just like without saying anything. He'll passively just like have him start like listening in on like traffic that might be coming through.
Okay.
In case any of them saw where the roustabout went.
Yeah, because ships use this frequently. We probably need to tell them that.
Do what now, Patrick? Some of that broke up.
You probably need to tell them that you said ships use this as a shortcut. You said they pass by this frequently.
Yeah, but keep in mind, the area considered the shortcut is, 300 billion kilometers wide,
We're like threading a needle here.
Yeah,
They've been studying it for hundreds of years and ain't come
They have
across
not
it yet.
stumbled across it accidentally.
Yeah. But since we showed them the cave image, you really kind of need to point out, yeah, others still know about this. Because this is how we learn.
Well, is that one still in Adrian's head?
He's probably pulled the information out by now. But all this
Okay.
communication's been mental, though, so.
Right, yeah. Before he does pull out, Adrian will ping him a query mentally and we'll pull up all that information, like from the research station that's in the area that's trying to figure it out, and the hundreds of years of that one dude's study, and like the notes and everything. And he'll turn that over to them as well. Basically, he's going to ask us, like, would this be a threat to you? Or a threat to finding the entrance?
And also, we need to actually, this is me spitballing here, but we now know that the Remorans inhabit people. They are long-lived, just like they are. I think one particular Remoran has been trying to research that location.
When you show him the image, when you think about the researcher that you dealt with last time,
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Hang on just a second. Make a note here. One of them goes for Morin. Another one goes Farid.
Farid?
The third one goes Destroyer.
Okay. Nice to know I screwed with the Destroyer's day.
Those are not fun descriptors.
You said Farid? That was what the second one said?
The second one said Farid.
And that would also explain his unhealthy obsession with questioning us about why we were here.
One thing to note is, with the telepathic communication, you get the meaning. You're getting the meanings of any word they use.
Uh-huh.
Farid did not come with a meaning particularly, other than you knew it meant that guy.
What was a more precise description of Farad? We don't understand what you mean. We don't have context.
He is Farid. You are Cat.
Yeah, Farid is his
name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we now have a name to go with the Morin. Or the...
So next time we're in the area, stealthily, I need to destroy all of his data and make him start again.
Well, that sounds like a way to get a reoccurring villain after you.
It's not like we don't have them already.
That's true. What's one more?
Possible death.
Yeah.
All of the death.
Some of the death. Don't be greedy. Leave some for other people.
Is there any information you would wish us to bring you back, or do you have access to the other side of that doorway?
We come and we go. Well, one says we come and we go. The other says the entrance is not for us. The third one goes, we are everywhere.
What do you mean by everywhere?
Excuse me. We're not everywhere. We are anywhere.
What do you mean by anywhere?
We are where we wish to be.
So, I ask in that case, if we needed to contact you, would you appear in our ship?
If we were close enough to hear you. One goes, if we're not busy. Another one goes, if we wanted to.
Have we encountered any of your kind before, unawarely?
We've got a raid.
Hey!
Hello, everybody, from
Curious
Crafts.
Crafts.
Glad to see y'all.
They raid us yet again.
Why do I get the feeling this conversation would be really interesting if I was playing a Ballari?
If anyone was playing up alarm, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah. Because they are beings of pure energy that just exist in suits.
Well, we know we can come back at least.
Yep.
Did she get any answer on if they had encountered anyone before without knowing?
You had asked about if. Run the question by me one more time.
She'd asked basically if they'd encountered one of their kind before without knowing, since they're a hive mind. Well, no, they wouldn't. Never mind. They would have known because they can't inhabit bodies like the.
Hello.
Let's see.
We can hear you.
Okay. Everybody get out there for a second.
Yeah, we need to, at some point we need to figure out your connection there, Patrick.
Yeah.
But anyway, were you asking something or just making sure you were heard?
Yeah, because it just like the whole line went silent for me for a second.
You completely broke up. What was that again?
I said the whole line went silent for me for a second.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking something. So we were,
Okay,
we were breaking up on his end too. Okay.
So, fun note that I just realized about Proteans. Yanni is technically of the same race as these guys.
How's that?
I was looking at the Bellari as a race of energy beings are Proteans. And that's what Yanni is a Protean. That's just in physical form.
That's probably more of the type of race.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know, goblins and hobgoblins are two separate races, but they're still goblinoids, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like, all the players are humanoid, to use the game
Yeah.
mechanic.
I just thought it was interesting. I was like, I wonder.
So while I've been thinking of Yanni as a drone, or something you physically built, it's an energy being that you just kind of called into existence.
Yeah.
That is capable of going solid.
Adrian will... First he's going to ask... How easy is it for us to leave here?
You're asking the Ganiello?
Yeah. Or like if they have to show us the way, or if we can find the way back on our own.
One goes, how easy was it for you to arrive? The other goes, simplicity. The third goes, don't get lost.
We essentially have the coordinates of the pinhole.
I mean,
Well, you
We
know
should
how
be
far
able to
you
get
travel
back
to
out.
get where you're at, so you could turn around and try to make your way straight back. And you could have Yanni come back through the entrance to, you know, actually let you pinpoint where it's at.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off the mic for a second.
I'll say, 'cause Adrian will go, How far away from your sanctuary do you travel in here?
You may travel infinitely in any direction.
Okay. Because there is somebody I think you may be interested in meeting.
And then the second one was like, you travel in circles.
Yeah, because they just say, because I think there's someone that you might be interested in meeting. He's currently acting as our way back, though.
Oh, you're referring to Yanni?
Yeah.
They probably would have known about Yanni, at least with the scanning his brain, since Yanni was used to obtain some of the information.
Most likely.
Well, that's what I was curious about. They've seen him through Adrian's eyes, but because he is a Protean, that is technically an extension of Adrian. Kind of curious to see what'll happen if they're both there.
I don't think they have any steely knives, man. Somebody on the Twitch made a Hotel California reference when you were talking about getting out, trying to get back out.
Yeah.
When I mentioned that you're in a
Okay.
pocket dimension with some possibly godlike beings, he suggested stabbing them with steely knives. Come to think of it, that didn't even work in the song. I don't know why he would suggest that.
Nah, probably not.
One of them makes a query of you.
Me or just the party?
The party. Like I said, the entire conversation has been open to everybody, even though it's still a party. Why do you search for the Exotti? Another one goes, let the dead lie. The third goes, do not expose our shame.
Your shame? How do you mean?
They just asked, don't expose it. You want them
Well-
to expose it?
They also asked for us not to share anything. So as long as it doesn't go past us, it doesn't get exposed, now would it?
Well, they'd already mentioned when you'd asked them what happened to the Exotti.
They mentioned that to Kat.
No,
Would've been
that
to
was
everyone.
that was everybody. The entire conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They are hitting all of our minds at once with talking
okay.
to us.
It's telepathic in nature, but it's like you're basically standing having a conversation all in the same room.
Okay.
We're all on the same party line of the
Alright.
phone.
You know.
Yeah, I thought it was just to her because when that question got asked, they were all in the room with her.
You're right. Y'all were not in the room. They aren't broadcast. They're broadcasting to everybody in the area, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so Adrian doesn't know that.
Cat can fill you in or whatever,
If she wants to.
if she wants to.
She'll probably tell everyone because she'll just be hyperventilating in the corner after they leave.
Fair enough.
So yes, so Cat lets you know that when she asked what happened to the Exotti, one of them blamed the Primorans, one of them blamed themselves, and then one of them said conflict. Which isn't a detailed explanation, but you get the impression that both groups were involved.
And in that regards, clarify conflict.
One goes a differing of opinions. Another goes
Smart ass aliens.
Another goes violence. And a third goes interference.
Define
Interference with what?
interference in this context.
As we all go, interference!
All slam C.
Yeah.
Let's see. Define interference. The Primoran interfered with our intentions. Another goes, our intentions to elevate the Exotti. The third goes, we were fools.
Elevate the Ajati to what?
One goes godhood, another goes immortality. Another goes to be as us.
Why didn't it work?
Most likely interference.
When you say why did it work, one goes Primorans, one goes interference, one goes hedonism.
And I actually have to ask this. Are the Fomorans the Ageti?
One goes no. One goes. See, one goes no. One goes yes. One goes some of them.
So it was a faction. And they destroyed themselves.
I think they did elevate them, but the Ageti didn't like what they became.
Or elevated some of them, and some of them were hedonistic monsters.
That might explain why they were so dead set on hiding everything about their race. Because literally any time we find something about the Ageti, these Primorans just pop up.
Suddenly, crap. What's your familiar's name again?
Yanni.
Yanni.
For some reason, I'm sitting here thinking Yeti, but I know that's not it. Yanni detects a ship headed towards him.
Adrian pauses and there's somebody heading towards this area.
We gotta go.
One of the Ganialo goes, yes, someone comes. One goes, he comes. The third one goes, you must leave.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds fair.
Works for me.
The Ganialo disappear. Suddenly the room, even though the lighting is like normal, the room seems very dim. Any of you look at each other realize your pupils have been, massively dilated this entire time.
Cat just readjusts her mask.
Yeah, not so much a problem for you because you have the mask going on.
And I have dark vision. Oh, it burns.
Did Yanni say how far out the ship was? Do we have time to get out unseen?
Depends on what kind of sensors it's got. It's a decent little distance out. But, Yanni doesn't have, like, real... he doesn't have, like, ship-level sensors. He can only see so far.
Yeah.
We should get out.
You hear a very panicked Jim from the cockpit. Guys?
Yeah?
The stars are back on.
Oh, they took care of that for us, I guess.
Always fun.
Adrian's gonna mentally query where Yanni is in comparison to them.
Yanni is about 10,000 miles or 10,000 kilometers that way.
Yeah, we didn't go that far.
Jim's like, we didn't move. The ship's been stationary.
Maybe they retracted the door.
Well, they did say we could return.
If we need to return, I'm sure we can figure out a way, but we need to look casual.
Yeah.
Jim's like, what do y'all guys want me to do?
Leave. Quickly.
No, because then we look really suspicious if we just bolt.
Question. A lot of people use this thing for travel.
Not a whole lot, dude, because it's not really. It's kind of out of the way. But it was somebody passing through one time that discovered it.
In that regards, make it look like we're just using this.
Yeah, you can do that. You can spin around and
Unfortunately,
get-
that's not what we told the station that we were here for.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all specifically told the station y'all were doing y'all's own research.
Yeah.
Just told them we were doing research, but so they're expecting us to be out here.
Oh yeah, and you don't have to have their permission to be out here. It's open space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But
If
and
you
we
started
we
messing
did
with-
get the head researcher's permission to be out here anyway.
Yeah,
They
And
did
we
clear it.
didn't
interfering
give
with
them
anything.
we didn't give them the exact coordinates, did we?
No. Someone started talking about it, then Agent just sort of like just jumped in on a random conversation to shut them up.
I don't know who that was. I'm sure it wasn't Francis.
We should. I mean, we can just kind of.
Agent will go to the console. He'll just start running like some basic passive scans to look like they're starting to get like a baseline, like baseline settings, stuff like that. You know, control scans, sort of, to make a control group, and then various other things.
Make it look like we're doing work. Somebody walk around with a clipboard.
Look busy.
I mean, Adrian's got data pads galore. He's also wiped that one data pad of all of that data that he took from that guy, so the only copy's in his head again. And now he's using it to, like, to scroll through the basic scans. And using his Cybermancer powers, he can do that and erase all evidence from the system successfully.
Okay.
I heard that dice roll.
The dice roll had nothing to do with you erasing your information. Or anything to do with your
I'm making
information,
sure
period, I
it's-
assure you.
I'm making sure
He's
it's not.
rolling the dice to make us nervous.
No,
What
that
a
is
game's
that is just a side benefit.
Yeah.
From the cockpit, just
basically
like,
what Adrian's-
guys, we're being hailed.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I suppose we'll answer it.
Yeah.
It is a, what was the name of the station? Tonka? I believe it was Tonka Station. It's one of their security.
It is
ships.
now.
Okay.
Well, I've got it written down, but I've got it written down very sloppily, so.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking for the roustabout, specifically. Yeah,
We
Jim
are
comes
the
on, and y'all hear roustabout. Come in, roustabout.
Hello, this is Roustabout.
Are you in any sort of distress?
No, we're currently just performing our preliminary baseline scans of the anomaly.
You disappeared for some time, and now you've reappeared in another location.
Perhaps we passed through it without realizing it. Things look normal on our end.
Roll me a deception there.
Technically true, because we don't know what the hell they did to us to move us from one place to another.
Yeah, but everything's not been normal. You were somewhere without stars for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, for a little while anyway.
Fuck balls. I shouldn't have been talking. I have a -1 to my charisma.
I know, that's what makes it fun.
But he's the scientist.
He's also mouthy, you know.
Yeah. That's the bad part. Why do you think he has a negative charisma? Because he's mouthy.
Stop stalling, roll your dice.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
not
not bad, though.
Not bad at all.
He doesn't sound super convinced. Well, somebody on the station was scanning the area you were in, and he gives the rough coordinates of where y'all were. Not these super precise ones that you had, but kind of the general area you were in.
Ah.
And they reported that you vanished.
Do you mind telling us who? I mean, I'd like to thank them for being so concerned.
Uh,
Well, maybe there's something. Their scanners are defective. Did
Yeah, have they calibrated the scanners recently?
Also that.
he tells you, I don't know about that. I just have the report I was given.
Well, you're just doing your job, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, you are speaking to,
The mall cop.
Captain Roberts.
Yeah. Ooh, a captain.
Well, captain of this particular patrol ship.
Yeah.
It is a ship, probably a little bit smaller than the roustabout.
A space Segway.
Not quite that bad.
Space Segway. That's hilarious. I'm just imagining like just along in space. Yeah.
Be like some of the cartoons from the 60s or 70s where you had people on the space motorcycles, but it's a little
Yeah.
space Segway.
Pulls up behind us. Do you know how fast you were going?
Not fast enough to caught me.
It's like a Jetson space Segway just.
But anyway, I mean, we got this report and we were sent out to check it out, and as we're approaching, suddenly you appear over here.
Oh, we're fine.
Yeah. Everything seems normal on our end.
Alrighty. You mind if we do just a quick scan of your ship?
We don't see why not.
And they do a quick scan. Oh yeah, doesn't seem to be any damage, no weird readings. Okay. He goes, I'll make my report back and we'll tell whoever it was that was, picking you, that thought they picked up something weird to, check their equipment.
Can you just forward us a copy of the report too? I mean,
Certainly. He gets
Thank you.
whatever one of your communists.
Because this is another moment of what seems to be weirdness with a shortcut.
Yeah.
But not the normal kind of weirdness, though. It's like, a weirder weirdness.
It's that hot new weirdness.
Yeah. I say Adrian he'll take a look at the report. Is it the same guy that filed it?
It was the report he had. The report he has currently. It's somebody from that research group. Yes. He does not have the specific man that made the call's name, just that it came from the research group.
Okay.
betcha a nickel.
That's a sucker bet, and you know it.
It's also a nickel.
But we don't
Do you
use
know how
nickels
much
anymore.
a nickel is worth in the future?
Betcha a space nickel.
Okay, now those
Space
are worthless.
nickel. A real nickel, though? Oh, boy.
From the home world.
All right, so what are y'all going to do out here in space now?
You never did ask him about the home world. You realize that, don't you?
The one thing we should have asked him.
That's true. We didn't.
I'm one of the few cash that I'm looking for the home world. I ain't looking that hard.
If I happen to stumble upon it,
Like, I'm kind of doing my own jams out here, but if I find it, I am taking credit.
I'll say what Adrian is going to do is he's going to have Jim keep us out here for a good half the quote unquote day, just so we look like we've been doing research and it was just a random blip that happened.
Okay.
Just so we don't blow the cover that we're here doing some preliminary research.
Not a problem.
So guys, is anyone else a little freaked out by that, or is it just me?
No, I'm very freaked out about that.
I got freaked out the first time I noticed we had energy beings crawling out of corpses that seemed to take a very distinct liking to us. This is just adding on to the weirdness at this point.
So eventually, much later in the day, getting towards, what will be night on the station.
Mm-hmm.
Because the station most stations try to keep a reasonable day and night cycle.
Yeah.
You arrive back at
a day-night cycle on the Wally ship now.
So you arrive back on the station. You haven't landed very long with some security personnel come up to the ship. I mean, they're not like strapped guns on their hips or nothing.
Before we get back to the station, Kat would recommend that they make an excuse to get out of here. Like, oh, we've been called away on another mission. We'll probably come back to research at a later point.
Yeah, like this was. I mean, and we're speaking the truth here. This is literally something we wanted to do on our free time. So
Pretty sure.
you could theoretically say.
Pretty sure you and Achille had agreed this was a good idea to come out here.
Yeah, but she would want to.
Well,
She would want to get us as far away from that really suspicious fucker.
yeah. Well,
I mean, we have his name.
The dude whose name we know that is also titled the Destroyer.
When you met him, let's see, was he Professor Poma? Oh no, that was the guy that took him on the tour, wasn't it? I don't think y'all ever got the weird guy's name.
No.
Well,
No.
technically,
We just know
yes.
his,
We got it from
Just
the
never-
energy beings.
Yeah, we know
Well-
his proper name.
Yeah,
Well,
you don't
no,
know what he was going by on the station though.
No, we do. You never told us, but I did have access to all of his data.
Yeah. I'm just looking to see if I actually had something.
So it'd probably be in there somewhere. I just don't think you as the DM ever told us what it was.
Bob Johnson.
Professor.
Not Cave.
Bob
Not
Johnson.
Cave Johnson. Please, somebody get
Steve
that
Stevenson.
reference.
I
No,
got it.
Thank you.
Cave Johnson stays away from us.
Jerry's chariots.
Dave
Limits.
Johnson has standards.
It's old Greg.
Oh,
Tell them
Remember
you're
what
going on a
species was
5-year
this guy?
mission and cannot spare the time for suspicious energy being. Like, that would go over well.
Let's see, the station commander was one of the tentacle-headed folks, I think.
Yeah, station commander was Vidila Gandrick. She was a dentist.
And then was this guy one of the blue ones?
The ferret guy, I think you said he was just a standard human.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he said he was just a human.
That's
Come to
right.
think of it,
I think it was a blue
haven't-
guy that took you on the tour.
Yeah. So come to think of it, haven't all them been human?
In Primorium, a lot of them have been human.
Let's
I
see.
think-
the
I think-
first two
I
guys
think-
you fought were human.
Yeah.
If Gilbert was one of them things, he wasn't.
If the sniper lady, she was Promethean.
Technically human.
Yeah.
In the roughest sense, but
I
yeah.
think you've run into a couple that were in non-human bodies. But a lot of the places you've been have been predominantly human, so they were trying to blend in.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Or maybe they like humans better. You'll have to,
They're
Maybe.
a lot more violent. They tend
A lot
to
more violent.
leave a lot more bodies to inhabit.
Well, I
Somebody
mean, according to the lore of the book, that is not incorrect. Humanity as a whole they shook things up a lot. I think they actually started a war.
If these guys are in, they had the was it the X mark, or that was with themselves when they discovered the Crucible.
Yeah.
But these guys are immortal. Maybe they like things shook up. Hey, it's something different.
Who knows? Yeah.
Or maybe it's just a statistical oddity. I know when you fought a bunch of them on the ship that you crashed into, it was a smattering of races you were dealing with there.
I wasn't there for that because I was passing a kidney stone.
It was a couple different races.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll call this researcher Fred.
Durst.
Okay. I can roll with that.
No, please no. We might actually
I'm
get
certainly
in
like
trouble
blanking on every
doing
last
that.
name ever known.
Mm-mm.
Fredson.
Jahanomy.
Fine, Jahanomy. We'll go with Jahanomy. Spell it.
No. Well, okay. Johanoamy.
Hell, there's also a
All right. So anyway, what, Patrick?
exetum. That's literally like the Latin word for destruction.
That had me a little too on the nose.
Yeah, but he seems like a guy who's so subtle.
That'd be like a vampiric coach calling himself Coach Ferratu.
Why is everybody looking at me like I'm the bad guy?
Alright. So you land, there's some security personnel there. You know, one of them's got like a little handheld scanner. One of them approaches the ship. Excuse me, the station director, Director Ganrick, would like to speak to your party.
We are a popular bunch.
This an emergency they want to talk to us about, or
Well, there was an anomaly while you were out on your trip.
we were made aware? Yeah.
All I know is it's something to do with that. She would very much like to speak with you.
Does she need to see all of us?
Yes, that would be her preference.
Well, I guess we don't really have a choice.
And the security guy's kind of like,
Could you give us 5 minutes? We need to finish compiling all of our notes from the from our preliminary scan.
oh, certainly, certainly.
All right, thank you.
Slam the door.
Okay, so
We should probably get our story straight before we go talk to this lady.
why do you think I asked for 5 minutes?
We know we ain't telling them about the
Stuff.
about anything.
We're not telling them anything that actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to take just the baseline scans that we have?
Kitty discovered brevity.
Just
I
so-
don't think it would hurt anything.
I mean, it did show that we were doing something out there.
Yeah. And that way,
And he'll pull out a spare data pad that has nothing but that on it. That's it. Just those scans. After
And
they
if
were ejected.
and if asked, I mean, we can just say this is something we like to do between missions.
Solve puzzles.
Yeah. Some people do crossword puzzles. We try to solve space fold.
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
I think it's more like we as a team like decide like what we want to do between missions, and this happened to be what we chose this time. Which is true, because we did
Yeah.
the mission for Achille. He didn't specifically order us to check this out. It's something we chose to do on our own. So, not
we tell
lying.
Achille any of this?
I'd say no. I mean, as much as he would love to have it,
Yeah.
before you
knows.
argue with me, these
I'm
are
not arguing.
no. He's pointing at Dandru.
I would say
Uh,
we tell him we are not allowed to show him what we found.
But then he
Some-
still knows that we know something.
And someone like him, he will start digging, and that could make it worse.
Because he would have those coordinates too then.
Well, you already given him the images that you gathered on that planet.
Mm-hmm.
So
He
he
already
has those
has
coordinates.
the location.
Yeah.
If we just come back and say, nothing happened,
Yeah.
I think Jim will probably betray us at that point.
Adrian looks at Jim.
Oh.
He's your boss. I understand if you have to.
We're just saying, Jim, giant beings of light pretty much said, don't rat us out.
I kind of took that to mean they just don't want the general populace to know.
Giant be, you know your boss.
Look, they didn't react violently when we wandered in.
But they also told us don't tell anyone. So if someone other than any of us comes in, we have no guarantee of their safety.
Or our safety afterwards.
Or ours, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
It's really
they
the
did.
important part here. I don't want to get killed by giant heat space monster guys.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
can show up wherever they want
Yeah,
to
who
at
say,
whatever
we
time
can
they
travel
wish
infinite
to be.
distances. Well, then I can't run from you.
Jim's like, yeah, I'll think about it.
And they specifically said,
Jim, we're gonna
People
need better
in-
than you're gonna think about it.
yeah. Let me put it this way. They said the only people that are allowed to know and are allowed to go back were the
Are
ones
us.
in this ship. No one else.
I mean, maybe if we see him again, we can
Really?
ask for Achille, but do you want to get
Yeah,
Achille
look.
killed?
After we deal with
Yeah,
this
but I'm
whole
not
issue,
comfortable with lying either.
I mean, it's either lying or he
Potential
dies or
death.
we die. Yeah. Or
Alright,
all of us
alright.
die.
Because you know how curious your boss is. You know how much he digs.
and look, after we deal with all this, if we are in a safe place after we deal with all this, by all means we'll get the permissions and we'll share the information properly. It is specifically in this case of there is a cult chasing us. Well, now we know it's not a cult; it's a race of beings.
That are the same as the people that are the same power level, just about the beings that told us to not tell anybody. By the way,
Jim's like, I hadn't got that impression at all.
Yeah.
They're immortal.
they
hedonistic.
went to war with each other and destroyed a species.
Well,
Okay, I guess that's kind of
more
bad,
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I won't
I mean,
I won't give him any
like you s-
specifics. I'm not gonna try and deny that something happened.
You can say that you can say something happened and that
when the time comes, we can tell him.
once we can deal with the people after us in a safe manner, then we can share the information.
We have to. It's
Alright.
not something we can just go giving out willy nilly.
Alright. Yeah, I'll make
Basically,
some
it's
valid
something
points.
we can't tell him for his own safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's acceptable. I mean, I'm not trying to, Jim's like, I'm not trying to be hard to get along with here. I've known Achille a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
And
it's
we
a
are
big
basically
thing,
working
too.
for him to figure this stuff out.
I mean, we're gonna keep trying to figure it out.
I assume we can at least give him the extinct species name.
We could say that was on the tablet and we just found it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Jim don't look
Maybe.
super happy, but you get the impression he's more or less on board at this point.
Adrian's going to start looking through everything he has on this species to see if that name is somewhere in there.
Can you do that after we talk to the mayor, dude?
That's true.
Yeah, but it'll be after. But it's what he's going to do before we go to Achille.
Okay, so our story again. We were totally out there scanning everything all day.
Here's our information.
Here's our information. We're
Totally
doing this
not
on our
time
free time.
altered. Totally not time altered to make it appear as though we were doing scans while we're also in a dark, spaceless space.
We were having lunch at that point. I mean, figuring out our plan of attack.
Yeah.
All right.
We were trying to decide how we were going to go about it. Which we were, yeah.
We're glory seekers. We came out on our holiday real quick to see if we couldn't luck our way into fame, and it didn't work out. Oh well, back to work.
Yeah, I mean, all of us, choose something to do between missions. It was the science nerd's turn, and we came out.
Okay.
Not false, because I really wanted to check this out.
So anyway, you go out. You
There's
exit
a grain
the
of
ship.
truth in all of this.
You exit the ship. There's the 3 or 4 security personnel that were there.
Yeah, Adrian will hold up like 2 dad pens and sorry, took a little bit.
It's quite all right. Please come this way. They take you to this, oversized golf cart kind of vehicle. You've seen them
New
around
space
the
station
station.
SUV.
Yeah, you've seen them around
Yeah.
the station.
Yanni is trailing around invisibly, following them, keeping an eye out, basically, see if anyone's trying to follow
Watching them.
So they take you
Yeah.
to the director's office,
Mm-hmm.
which
Kinda
looks like a
look red.
standalone building, just kind of built into one of the walls of the station.
Gotta
Yeah.
look over at Adrian. Don't get too chatty.
Are there any bullet holes in the building?
No, not yet.
Good. Let's try to keep it that way.
That yet terrifies me.
So anyway, into the office complex. They take you to a conference room. Inside, you see Vidilla Gandrick. You know, she is one of the... I've got to memorize these race names.
Dendis.
Dendis, thank you. I knew it was started with a D. You know, she is a dentist. Researching the station before you showed up, you've seen pictures of her, so you recognize her on sight. You also see Fred. He seems a little agitated. Gandrick seems perfectly calm. There's a couple of other researcher-looking types in there.
Is our buddy from before in there?
Fred? Yeah. You dare.
The director stands up. But thank you all for coming. Really appreciate
No
you taking the time.
Mhm.
I am sure the patrol vessel that spoke with you explained what we saw from the station.
In broad terminology, yes.
We'll say, and as Cat asked, Adrian just nods. He doesn't say a damn thing.
It's a weird bit of space. Things happen.
We have not observed something quite like this before. The researchers, and she gestures to, not specifically to Fred, but to the little group he's sitting with. They happen to be examining the region of space you were in.
Danver raises his hand.
This
He
isn't a class.
does
You don't
that,
have to.
alright.
You don't have to raise your hand. But yes, please. What?
Sorry, it's a thing of respect. We were told specifically in the general area we were going to check, there was no study going on. What caused this sudden change?
Oh, really? She looks over at the researchers. You notice a couple of the researchers kind of look at Fred. He's like,
If I may, in particular, he's kind of been following us a little bit.
Fred's like,
Fred,
I most certainly have not been.
you accused us of theft, and then suddenly we find out you've watched our ship.
Some of the other researchers are looking at Fred a little closer now. I was curious as to where you were going, I'll admit it.
A little creepy.
You had stolen my data pad, undoubtedly pulled the information off of it.
Weird how we'd be allowed to leave if that were a true statement.
The tracker clearly showed it in your ship. It only left your ship when I showed up with the authorities.
Be that as it may, what did you ask us here for?
The director taps on some stuff. It pulls up what their scopes were seeing. And it's not like they've got video of you. It's not visible light they were using. But you can see like the energy outputs of your ship. And then, the creeping forward, yada, yada, yada. And they show when you vanish. Now, refresh my memory. You had Yanni go in and out of the portal multiple times. But the ship just went through the one time, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Yanni wouldn't have been so small and stealth wouldn't have been detected.
Right.
Yanni, technically, unless he physically wills it into existence, Yanni is technically on another plane of existence.
Yeah.
It's
It
where it
would probably
operates.
take somebody with Esper abilities. To have
Pretty
him-
close by to
to
detect
have,
him.
yeah, yeah, to have him
Yeah.
detecting him.
Yeah,
all
like
they
a
see, all they see is
slightly-
your ship kind of fly out there, sit there for a little bit. You know, they may pick up. You know, y'all did several sensor sweeps, so they may pick up some of that, and then you disappeared. As soon as you disappeared, Fred Fred contacted station security, sent the information he had. Hey, this just happened, and we scrambled a patrol out there to see what was going on. You know, given the nature of the shortcut, we are always on the lookout for any new oddity.
Makes sense.
As the patrol was getting close, you just suddenly reappeared on their sensors quite some distance away.
Mm.
You know,
He'll just hold up the data pad and say, "Well, this is what we got when we were doing our scans. If you want to take a look."
oh yes, thank you.
He'll
Do you mind if
slide
I
it
copy
over.
this? Do you mind if I copy this information?
Sure, go ahead.
You know,
It's just our preliminary baseline work, just to give us some groundwork to operate from.
And then we got called.
Yeah, basically.
She starts downloading that. And she's like, Fred and his team have they double checked their equipment to make sure it's working properly. It's a very precise instrument. They keep it calibrated. Now, examining your information, your ship would have record. Let's see, what did you do to the records on the ship as far as where y'all traveled from, right outside the station?
How do you mean?
Would it
Make sure I'm
have
getting
that y'all
clear.
flew to this area, and then you started scanning over here?
No.
And we probably started scanning after. Well,
He has these set up for afterwards, when they started doing their baselines. It does not show at any point where the general vicinity of that doorway is.
Okay. She asked about that. Well, they picked up that you're doing some scans in this area. Do you have those scans available?
we weren't doing any scans, and I'm saying this to DM, not to the character.
I thought
we
y'all
never
had
started the scans
scanned.
until we got out.
Mm-mm.
I thought you had scanned the doorways, that area in the doorway.
No.
So I'm looking for something.
Once we got
No, we didn't.
inside.
No,
Yeah.
we only used Yanni as a scanning tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right. Y'all
y'all-
inched forward and then he
we-
shot out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then once we got
And
in, we started
yeah.
doing some
All right.
stuff.
Disregard
the ship
that
didn't
then.
start. Yeah, the ship didn't start scanning until we were already inside.
Okay.
the doorway.
Disregard that then.
Yeah, and then once we were ejected, we started scanning at that location.
I thought you had done some scans. But okay.
No, we already knew where we needed to go. We just kind of piloted that way, and then we sent Yanni ahead.
The director's like, do you have any explanation for how this may have happened then, that you jumped space like that?
We
Well,
were.
I mean, looking through your past records of various other instances, things like this have happened before.
Things tend to happen where you hit it and you travel farther, but you're still visible while this is going on. This, you were completely off any kind of scans for. Let's see how long that conversation with the computer or with the.
Probably
sphere.
about 4 hours.
That's right, because you had a 3-hour. Yeah, so you were disappeared for quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your ship
we-
doesn't have any odd stealth capabilities, does it?
It's a very standard ship. I mean, none of us are.
That's what our
It's a
patrol
modifi-
scan showed.
I'd say it's a modified gunship, but
Oh yes, lots of people use those sorts of things as
I
cargo
mean,
carriers.
it was something that was loaned to us. So whether or not there's stealth capabilities, I'm not sure.
Jim speaks up at that point. Oh yeah, we don't have anything like that on the roustabout.
There you go.
mean, none of us are as trained as scientists on this as any number of you. It's mostly just academic curiosity and things to do between missions.
Adrian will kind of gesture to himself and Hall said it was kind of our turn to decide what we wanted to do between missions, and this kind of piqued our curiosity.
Yeah, I'm a dirt scientist, not a space scientist.
I, on the other hand, am a space scientist.
I mean, none of us noticed anything. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this.
Nothing jarred us from one location to another, so we didn't really
Yeah,
notice anything.
there was no
Yeah.
turbulence inside the ship or anything to indicate that we would have moved.
While you've
Which
been
is
talking,
true.
Fred has just been sitting over there almost shaking with rage.
Are you
Cat
okay?
is like no one's looking. Cat is not looking at Fred.
Some of the other researchers have noticed. One of them actually kind of puts his hands on Fred's shoulders. Calm down, man. And Fred goes, "What did you see out there?"
There were lots of stars. I mean, it's pretty empty out there. And I'm not a science nerd, so it was pretty boring to me.
Give me a
basically
deception when you say that.
Oh, come on!
She natural one.
Everybody
Yeah.
in the when you say that it was kind of boring out there. Everybody in the room kind of goes, "Eh?"
I've been sick a little bit, so I'm a little off.
And then Fred slams his hands on the table. What did you see?
We've got our scans right there.
So Adrian just sort of quietly points at the scans.
Before you were over there, the 4 hours that you did not exist.
The 4 hours that
I'm sorry. Why do you keep making accusations?
What were you saying, Francis?
listen, we're playing this straight here. All our data is right there in the pad.
Roll
So
deception.
He's
not
rolled better
wrong.
than me.
He's not wrong, actually. All the physical data we have are in those pads.
Yeah, all
So
the
he is-
physical data. Y'all know stuff, though. And that's what this guy's asking about.
Fair enough.
you deceptive bastard. No, you still roll
Better than mine.
Not terrible, not terrible. Let's see.
I've really got to pick up proficiency in deception.
He points at Francis. I am speaking to the intellectuals in your group, not to the hired muscle lizard.
Wow.
What did you
Wow.
just call me?
And that's
Francis.
the reaction everybody in the room's got. All the other researchers are like, whoa, hey.
Francis, hold on. I'm sorry. I have a question. Why do you seem so in...
Before you get a chance to do that, Director Ganrick actually stands up out of her chair. That's enough, Fred. Calm down. Take a walk. Take a walk. Not putting up with that. I'm not putting up with that. Here in my office.
Accusations.
If you want to step up to Frosty,
She's like, the accusations are one thing. Being,
Which-
flat out insulting and culturally
Which-
or racially insensitive.
Which he's been kind of hitting us with these things since day one, since we got here.
I mean,
Once Fred is out of the room, she's like, I do apologize for that.
has he done that before?
No, he's always been very calm, very focused on his work.
It's weird that he's been so, like, single-minded and just throwing accusations at us.
You
I
haven't-
mean,
I mean, I'm more weirded out by the stalking.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. And then suddenly, I mean, from your own description, he's worked with you how long?
Oh, he's been here quite a few years, a decade or two even.
And then suddenly this?
Wait, time out. What's Fred?
Yeah, Fred is human.
Fred's
Yeah,
human,
Fred's
he'd
right?
been here. He had been here quite a while for our peoples.
I mean,
Does he not
it
age?
probably has been. no, the real him has probably been trading bodies. since
Yeah,
he's been here.
probably.
Yeah.
But the human named Fred has been here for a couple decades.
I mean, I could understand frustration, but before we'd even been here for a day, he'd been throwing accusations at us. I don't know if it's something about us he just doesn't like, or...
She's like, I have no idea. Again, I apologize for his behavior. He's, of course, not employed by the station itself, but by his separate company. And one of the other
Right.
researchers, presumably somebody a little higher ranking, apologizes for the company.
Okay.
Did we get that company's name by chance?
Sure, it's not important, but yeah.
Oh, come on!
I think you did give it to us, but we might not have written it down.
And I say company, it may have been actually been a college, a university
Yeah.
team.
Is one of the security people there? The people
Yeah,
that
this
had
is-
escorted us?
They stayed outside, but they're still available.
Not
Okay.
trying to break the flow, but just letting you guys know it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to be wrapping up soon.
Okay. I mean, it shouldn't take too long. But...
Unless they're going to start shooting at us.
Well, there's that whole they want to put you in quarantine for 24 hours thing, but we'll deal with that next week.
Yeah. I mean, he'll look at the directors like, is there any way we could talk to your station security about maybe getting some kind of restraining order on that guy? He's been after us since we got here.
Making sure to keep some distance from that boy.
I mean, we'll stay on our ship.
We will look into that. If I could have a moment to speak with Fred before we take legal actions. I mean, he hasn't threatened you with any violence or anything, has he?
Yeah, I don't think any of us want to press charges or anything, you know. Just he stays away and we stay away. Don't.
Yeah. I mean, if this continues, then I probably will.
Well, if it continues, if it would begin falling under harassment, I suppose.
It's been that way since
I mean,
we got
he
here,
has
so
a
it's getting
legitimate
pretty
point.
close.
You were gone for some 4 hours.
I mean, yeah, and like I said, but
that
then
seems more like the
that?
thing you'd be interested in rather than angry about.
Well, undoubtedly, he feels like you're intentionally hiding some information. And the way she says that, you get the impression that that may be how she's leaning a little bit, too. You have to understand, everyone here, pretty much everyone on the station, is focused on trying to unravel these mysteries. And suddenly you presented us with this new detail that we haven't seen before.
I mean, we've told you what we've experienced as far as there's our scans, and there was no turbulence or anything when we apparently were gone for 4 hours.
Given and I apologize for the inconvenience this is going to be, but given the oddity of this situation, I am going to have you quarantined, you and your ship quarantined for 24 hours.
Okay.
Thoroughly
what is that
scanned.
quarantine?
Thoroughly scanned and checked out. If we do not discover any oddities, no odd energies, none of you develop any odd sicknesses or illness, or infirmaries, after the 24-hour period, you'll be free to come and go as you please again. But something happened out there. We need to make absolutely certain that it's not anything that's going to be a danger to the station or anywhere else you go from here. Or to yourselves, for that matter.
Do that. Commander.
And where are we going to be quarantined at? On our ship?
You
Our
can
ship.
stay on your ship. You can stay on your ship, certainly.
Okay.
Good, because I like my bed.
Some of our people will need access to your ship.
As long as they don't try to dive into my bed, I think we're good.
No. They won't be there that late anyway.
I mean, seems fair enough.
Oh, thank you for your cooperation. Again, I'm very sorry for that researcher's outburst.
I would like to request that whatever quarantine you do, considering everything that's been happening since we got here with him, that he's not involved.
Oh no, this will be handled completely by station security.
Okay, good.
And well, I
I'm
mean,
okay with that.
some of our own tech people and researchers, not just in security, but
Yeah.
it will be station employees, not someone
Also-
hired by another
Right.
company or one of the colleges.
May we also request that he not have access to the data, any data they find? I mean, there's not going to be anything to find, but I have a feeling he's just going to be hounding
about it.
us about any.
But
Yeah,
yes, any personal
yeah.
information we should come across will be completely confidential.
Thank you for your
Okay.
discretion.
She shakes hands with you all, and we will wrap here for the evening.
Okay.
The next safe, quiet moment, Danner will look at Adrian and go, wipe everything. Make sure
Store
they
it
can't-
all in your head.
Make
He
sure they
already
can't
does.
find-
He
Yes,
already
like,
does.
Ooh, I think we got some
make-
bits.
Actually, absolutely nothing about everything that happened in there is anywhere in the ship systems. All of it is in his head.
Yeah, you had specifically gone through and black hatted that stuff away, if I recall.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And
He
nothing
data
else.
ghosted and black hatted all of it.
Hey Taylor, how do you pronounce the name of in the Twitch feed? And Choku?
I would assume Anshoku.
Choku. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, thank you,
yeah.
Choku, for cheering us on like this.
Yeah.
We are very appreciative.
And Shoku, number one fan.
Way to go, Andrew. And speaking of which, I've got to head out. So,
Okay, man. Thank you for coming.
you're welcome.
So anyway, thank you everybody that was watching. Want to thank my players again. Sarah playing Kat, Taylor playing Danru, Eric playing Adrian, Zach playing Francis, Anna playing Jade. You know, she wasn't nursing baby kitten. And of course, Patrick playing Hull.
We need pictures of baby kitten.
Yes, we
Yes.
need pictures of kitten.
It shall be provided.
We expect them in the Discord by
Yes.
morning,
Yes.
or there may be consequences.
No.
So
Next
anyway,
week from DM Tips, how to deal with player character death.
how to deal with TPKs.
How to not roll charisma.
So anyway, let's see. Tomorrow on the Wednesday showcase, we will start the Icons game that we were supposed to start last week, but we had a couple of players bail for unavoidable reasons, and I think we've had a player or two, added to take their places. So hopefully we'll get started with that tomorrow. It'll be the Icons superhero role-playing game. We'll be doing character creation with their random-ish character creating rules. Thursday should be back with Maddie's Curse of Strahd game. And then Monday they're still... Let's see, Monday's still skipping.
Monday's still on hiatus, I think.
Yeah.
I believe, if I have the times right, next Monday is going to be our session 0, which will be available to patrons of Direberry Adventure Company.
But
When
we'll
we're we're discussing the world and the characters and how everything's going to fit together for the meetup and everything like that.
kind of all the pre-set
And-
stuff.
Right. It's basically our setup, and then I think it's up to the illustrious Cap, of course, but I believe the week after that we're actually going to start campaign 2.
I thought it was
Join
gonna
the
be a-
Discord to know more.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a longer gap than that. That me and Maddie might have to duke it out for whether or not Tuesday night or Thursday night would be the new flagship
Gosh, there's
show.
already pictures of kitten
Oh, where?
Already you have pictures of kitten?
in the Discord already.
Discord.
Pictures of kitten.
It's a little
Yes.
Oh,
Look at it. compared
it's
to a
already
mouse.
hunting mice.
It's already hunting nice, yeah.
All right, before we get too distracted, though, thanks
Sorry.
everybody for showing up, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Yep.
Arrow.
We need a space kitten.